to ensure that that switch from one network to another is as seamless as possible. You've asked for one hint and tip now, I've given you about three. Probably 100 years plus experience in the industry. Yeah, you can cut that bit out, Ken. So there's a lot of experience there at board level that you can speak to at any point.
So I'm delighted to be joined by Tom Barnett, who's the head of recruitment at HLPartnership today, and we're just going to have a quick discussion about why joining a network as an AR can be so valuable, and we're also going to go through about HLPartnership and the process of joining us and what separates us from other networks as well. So Tom, I think what we'll do is we'll begin with the basics. So we're seeing a lot of mortgage advisors looking to set up their own business. So what are the key advantages of setting up a business as an AR under a network?
Thanks, Ken. So yeah, I think one of the main reasons that people are looking to set up as an appointed representative, if they're working in another firm or they're employed or self-employed in a big corporate or small corporate, or whatever it may be, is that they get a lot more of an element of flexibility and probably work-life balance from setting something up on their own. In terms of having your name above the door, you can build your own brand, you can build something that's hopefully sustainable, you get longevity there. But I think the key thing really just to sort of touch on is that flexibility that you get. I think it's important to remember that by setting up on your own, you're still a mortgage advisor. Your role doesn't change, your job doesn't change, you don't forget your X amount of years of criteria and things like that overnight by having your name above the door as opposed to doing it for somebody else. So the job doesn't change. You're still going out advising your clients on their mortgage protection and general insurance needs, but it just gives you a little bit more freedom. It gives you a bit more freedom to work when you want. I always say to people that this role can be the best role in the world because you could be going to the gym at 10 o'clock in the morning, taking the kids to school, doing kids' activities, whatever makes you happy, and then submitting a mortgage application at 7 o'clock at night if you want to be. So, certainly I'm seeing a lot of people that are sort of reaching out, inquiring about setting up as an appointed representative because they want a better work-life balance, they want a bit of freedom, and they want something that they can choose when they work, how they service their clients. They can choose the brand that they're looking to create, they can choose the business that they're looking to build, and I think that's probably one of the important factors that we'll touch on today is that being under a network gives you quite a bit of flexibility to be able to do that yourself. So yeah, the key thing that I'm seeing at the moment is, as well as the potential growth in earnings people are wanting, you can generate your own work-life balance, I think, by setting up on your own and truly being your own boss.
Excellent. So it can be quite daunting sort of going to a new world of starting your own business. So how does HLP actually support new ARs in terms of things like training, mentorship, and also resources as well? Yeah,
so we've got over 900 advisors in HLP now across 430 firms, give or take. So we've built a platform and a foundation where people can join HLP and thrive. That's the key thing, really. We're never going to dictate to business owners how their business needs to run. We're going to operate as a support network to keep them safe, to offer technology solutions, to offer access to the market and things like that. But we're never going to insist how their business runs. We're never going to dictate to them what the name above the door needs to be, what colour the business cards need to be, what colour the logo, things like that. So the full package that we offer ensures that you get to run your own business with a bit of support in the background. So how we do that, we offer training, we offer marketing support, we offer access to our directors at any point. So our compliance director is very well equipped and experienced in the industry to interpret the FCA rules, things like consumer duty that's just landed. we've got a managing director that's probably 40 years in the industry and has seen everything. And by joining HLP, you get access to that wealth of knowledge. Further to that, we can help with things like recruitment. So, if you came to me and said, listen, Tom, I've just taken on a new introducer, I'm swamped as it is at the moment, I need a self-employed or an employed advisor, we can help support with that. We can help you with social media content. It's about creating the full package for our advisors and ensuring that if they need support, they can reach out and speak to us. But also on the flip side of that, it's important that we don't force it on our members, because there are some firms out there that don't need that support. So what I would say with ourselves is that we're the type of network that has all the support there if you want it, but we're never going to insist on you using it all.
Excellent. So working in a marketing team, we've come across some of these firms who are looking to start their own business. They need a bit of marketing assistance or a bit of guidance on how to progress and grow their business. Have you had any case studies that you can share with us of advisors who have set up with HLP recently?
Yep, certainly. So, a lot of the inquiries that I tend to get for people that are either employed or self-employed working under another firm tend to be either from your big corporate estate agency backgrounds or your large companies across the UK. So as an example, a couple of lads based down in the south reached out probably a couple of years ago now. They were both working in the same firm for a large contractor mortgage company, and they decided to put their heads together and thought, we can make a go of this ourselves. So we went through the initial support, the ongoing support of compliance and technology help and a bit of business development. They're now in a position where they've recently recruited their own protection advisor to start to look after their protection needs, and the business will grow. We sat down, as we do with every firm, and formulated a business plan and a cash flow, and we've revisited that business plan to see what has worked, what hasn't worked, do we need to tweak it a little bit. And we've offered the support throughout to ensure that the business is a success. Now, I've no doubt that this firm will continue to grow, and we will support them as much as we can to do that. It might be that we need to do some recruitment for them. It might be that they need further support in other areas such as marketing, or they might look to diversify into equity release or something like that. We're there to help them. We're there to work with the business. But as mentioned earlier, we've not sort of forced that on them. They've come to us and asked for the support. We're not the type of network that is a big salesy, we need you writing X amount of mortgages per month, X amount of protection per month. That's not the way that we work. We're there for people that want the support, but we're happy then also just to leave a lot of businesses to do it themselves as well.
Excellent. That's really, really exciting. What would be a tip that you give a new firm looking to start up? What are we looking for?
I think, with that, I think you've got to certainly consider, is it the right time? So by that, I would look at the foundations that you've got. I mean, the two biggest areas that I always touch on are leads and money. So a client bank would be lovely for everybody, but I appreciate that there's a lot of people that now work in businesses where the clients are owned by that business. So it might be that the clients can't come with them from a legal perspective. So yes, it'd be great to have a client bank, but you need to, if you haven't got that, think about your marketing strategy, and do you have a plan to generate leads? Is that via a website you're going to invest in SEO or pay-per-click or social media marketing, things like that? So leads are the big thing, and ensuring that upon day one of going live, you've got clients to speak to. The second thing, as I touched on there, really is money. We know in this day and age that mortgages are taking 3, 4, 5 months to complete in the purchase world. And that could be a period of time where you're without money. Yes, now obviously protection is a little bit quicker, and protection can be paid out within 2, 3, 4 weeks. But if your bread and butter is mortgages, you need to ensure that you've got a bit of a fund there to rely on for the first few months, because the last thing that you want is to be going into a business venture like this and after 2 months thinking, crikey, do I need to get a second job to support my income and things like that. So leads and a bit of money are important. I think we ask every business that sets up with ourselves to write a business plan and to do a cash flow forecast. They're quite vigorous, I'll be honest. The reason that we do that is that we want to ensure that your business is going to be a success. It's not something that we just ask you to do willy-nilly because we want to see it. We want to work with you to ensure that your business is going to be successful and that you've considered all options. So I would always advise any new businesses that are considering looking to set something up on their own, formulate a business plan, formulate a cash flow, think worst case scenario. Is your business still going to be viable and sustainable in 6 months' time?
Excellent. So we've touched upon those who are looking to start their own business, but there may be some in the marketplace who already run their own business, but they're directly authorised. So many experienced advisors, sometimes they might be thinking about making the leap from DA to AR, especially in like today's regulatory climate where there's a lot of pressure from a regulation perspective, but also from a financial perspective too. Costs are rising, the cost of running a DA business is growing. So what do you think are the compelling reasons for a DA to join a network as an AR?
I think you've hit the nail on the head there with the main one, which is the regulation. You know, in the last 6 months alone, the regulation has changed quite substantially with the introduction of consumer duty. And if you look at where we were 10 years ago, it's a completely different world. By joining a network, having come from that directly authorised space, you get access to a full compliance function that interpret the rules on your behalf and then they relay that to you. Whereas in the directly authorised space, usually it's down to you to interpret them yourself and make of them what you will, usually or sometimes with a lack of support there. So by going into the appointed representative space from directly authorised, you get access to a bit of a safety blanket, I think. You get access to people that will interpret the rules for you, that will pass on their experience and guidance on those rules and interpretation of those rules to allow you to focus on the things that are important to you. And that might be just writing mortgages as to the best of your ability as you are. It might be looking to grow a business. It might be looking to introduce new introducers and referrals to your business. So what you effectively get with a network is, as I say, a safety blanket, but also somebody to help and support you through the tricky times. You know, we appreciate that in the directly authorised space, not only are you a mortgage broker, but you're also a marketing specialist and you're a compliance specialist and you're a file checker and you're a recruiter. So by being part of a network, you get access to all of that at the end of your fingertips. So it's that safety there. Just further to that, I would also add that, you know, we have 900 advisors under ourselves. So pulled together, we're writing close to £12 billion worth in lending a year. That gives us a bit of power with the lenders. You know, there's some lenders in the directly authorised space that won't work with the smaller firms because of the levels of volume and things like that. So with ourselves, you get access through Legal and General Mortgage Club to HSBC, Bank of Ireland, TSB, and the lenders that you might not typically get in the DA space. Further to that, we've got a very extensive panel when it comes to protection. There's 15, 16 providers on panel to ensure that your clients are safe from that perspective as well. So a lot of people, I would say, see going from DA to AR as losing the flexibility. That's not the case. I'd say it's more just offering a bit more of a network solution to your mortgage business and offering you a bit more support.
Perfect. So I think what's great about HLPartnership is the fact that the businesses under us can keep their own brand, they can keep their own identity, and they have their own unique, we call like a fingerprint, and they'll never lose that by becoming an AR.
Yeah, 100%.
It's having that support, that community, that backing behind you, so you're never alone. You're always we're all in it together. Yeah. So what opportunities open up for advisors when they become an AR under HLPartnership?
So we've got various departments within HLP. I obviously fit into the recruitment team, you fit into the marketing team. We've got a compliance team, we've got partner support team, we've got a membership team, we've got a tech team. There's by joining HLP, you're joining a network that is there to offer support in every aspect of your business, and that's the important thing to remember. We will sit an induction course with you to ensure that you know the processes of the network and you know the technology side of things. But it doesn't stop there. There's various further training, there's various alternative options that you could look to do with your business, like equity release and business insurance and private medical insurance and areas like that. So what we will do with any firms, as I say, we'll produce a business plan, we'll review that business plan 6-12 monthly intervals to ensure that we're on track to where that business needs to be. But we've got the people, the expertise and the skills within HLP to offer support and guidance wherever you need it. So, if you came to me and said, listen, Tom, I'm really struggling to write protection at the moment, particularly around trusts, well, we'll run a training session on that element. We can help you. So being part of HLP, you're joining a larger network. You're joining over 900 other advisors, and I would say a lot of like-minded advisors. The strength of our network is our members. It is. Everybody's on hand to help. I've got firms who joined us 4 years ago who I know I could ring today and sort of say, listen, I've got a new firm who are struggling with the technology. Would you mind spending half an hour, half a day with them? And they do it because they're there to help. And it's nice to be part of that. Sometimes this role can be quite a lonely job if you're out there on your own with no support and things like that. But by being part of a network, you get access to a lot of individuals who want to help you succeed.
Excellent. So I think, like the events program are a great testament to that. So we run a lot of events throughout the year. We've got the regional road shows, which are all over the country twice a year. We've got the big national conference and awards where we all get together and then celebrate the success of our firms. Lots of networking with lenders, suppliers, industry, names, and all under one roof. And any question you have, you can get it answered.
Very much so. And further to that, you've also got a board of directors there with, between them, I would say probably 100 years plus experience in the industry.
I'll never admit that.
Yeah, you can cut that bit out, Ken. So there's a lot of experience there at board level that you can speak to at any point. All of our directors have a very much an open door policy. You can speak to them at any point. They're very vocal in sharing email addresses, telephone numbers. So you can speak to them at any point about your business, about business strategy, about compliance, about the direction you want to take your business, and they'll offer their guidance and support. And sometimes it can, as I say, it can be quite a lonely place without that access. So yeah, I think that the key thing with ourselves is that not only do you get access to the members of HLP who are there to help you, but you also get access to the expertise within HLP, particularly at board level.
Brilliant. We also want to focus on those who may be already in the mortgage network but are looking to change networks. That could be they may be forced out for various strategic reasons. It could be they're not happy where they are, or they just fancy a change. So for those people, what do you think sets us apart from other networks, and why should they consider HLPartnership as a choice?
Mm-hmm. So our culture at HLP is key. It really is, and that comes from the top right the way down. Sean has built a culture that all of the internal staff really enjoy working for HLP, and we try to keep our members happy. We're not by any stretch a salesy network. We're not a lead producing network. We're not a network that'll bang a drum and say, write more protection, do more. That's not the way that we work. We're all about ensuring that our members are happy. The longer our members are happy, the longer they'll stay. And that's the culture that we really try to adopt, is that it's a two-way relationship. You can speak to us at any point, we can speak to you at any point. And that's how we try to work, and we want like-minded people who do that. Other areas that I would say that we are particularly strong in, the compliance function is strong. So when you join HLP, you'll have access to two people. One will be a regional compliance manager who will be based in the field. They will come and see you in the early days. They'll be on the end of a phone, on the end of a Teams call, there to grab a coffee whenever you need them. And they'll also do an annual audit with you. So they will look at things like your business spreads, your product spreads, your lender spreads, are you writing protection, your high risk cases like debt con and interest only. That regional compliance manager is there effectively to hold your hand in the early days, to ensure that the business is a success, but to ensure that you're safe. The second person who you will also be allocated is a compliance review officer. Now they're based in our head office in Leicester. They're the person that will do your file checks. So how we work from that perspective, as long as you are a competent advisor, we will never do role plays or observations or listen to calls or anything like that. We'll solely do file checks. What sets us aside from the other networks, however, is that the person that you are allocated will never change. So, barring things that are out of control, sickness, absence, holidays, things like that, the person that does your file check will be the same person every single time. So, going back to the piece that I mentioned earlier around a two-way relationship, you can speak to them at any point, they can speak to you at any point, and you will build a relationship with that person. But probably more importantly is that it'll be consistent. The way that your files are marked will become consistent because they will find out how you work, you will find out how they work, and likewise your file checking should be consistent that way. So the reason we do that is because a mortgage file is quite a subjective piece. It's like if you compare an English test and a maths test. An English test, it's subjective, I could interpret it different to you. Whereas a maths test, 6 plus 6 is always going to be 12, whether you like it or not. You can argue till the cows come home, but it's always going to be 12. So if we can give you that one person that you establish how they're going to work and mark your file, and they can establish, well, actually, Ken does it this way and so on and so forth, we can work with you on that. We're there to work with you. That's the important thing. We're very common sense when it comes to compliance. We're there to support you. We're there to keep you safe first and foremost, but we will work with you. And that's why we give you that one-to-one support when it comes to compliance.
Definitely. I think growth and development is a huge part as well. We look to grow our firms and the advisors within those firms. So, there's a lot of training courses throughout the year. I mean, from a marketing perspective, we run marketing webinars. We also have the Business Booster side, which has a whole host of information about growing your business in areas such as strategy, finance, marketing, recruitment, well-being. We also have like protection development specialists in Steve Fallon and Ian Pratt, who have huge amount of experience in protection sales, come from L&G, and they offer a load of courses on different levels. So it could be basic, it could be intermediate, it could be advanced, to basically help our firms grow. And for those, for example, who may not have the skill, time, or want to focus their efforts in different areas, we also have like the referral partners where we can refer them to. So we can ensure that there's always those good consumer outcomes at the end. I think also technology is probably a huge part as well. Mm-hmm. I think the commission system the launch of commission system last year was a game changer.
Definitely, yeah.
I think it made things a lot smoother, statements on demand. Advisors just know where they're at. I think, what was your feedback from that?
Yeah, no, definitely. So, we launched our back-end commission system 12, 18 months or so ago, and it was pretty seamless to say, the amount of transactions that we're going through. That's just given our advisors a bit more oversight as to actually what they're earning and when they're going to get paid so that they can forecast. That is the start of a pretty long journey when it comes to technology with ourselves. We are always looking to enhance our technology offering, working with partners like 27 Tech and Solution Builder and L&G to ensure that our advisors have at their disposal the tools that they need to use. We're not saying that every brokerage is going to be the same and every brokerage is going to use 100% of the systems in the same way, but we want to be able to give our advisors the opportunity to use the systems the way they want to. There's going to be some old school brokers out there that will go with a piece of paper and a pen and then put things onto an electronic fact find. So we know and we understand that there is no one size fits all model out there, but we're trying to build technology solutions that that keep everybody happy, that give people, the businesses right from 40 advisors right down to the one-person bands, the opportunity to make the client journey and the mortgage journey in particular as smooth as possible.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more. I think one of the things that's like what's great about HLPartnership is the fact that we're preparing our advisors for the future. It's not always about just now. We're always trying to improve and position our firms for success. So we have a chief technology officer and an in-house team who are looking to build all different tech in different areas to help support our firms and help communicate with clients and just improve the whole process. So at the end of the day, advisors can produce good consumer outcomes.
100%, I agree. And
yeah.
I think one of the things that we'll just sort of touch on that you guys do really well is the newsletter that you send out on a monthly basis. I mean, you know the stats better than I do on that, but within HLP, a free service that we offer is to be able to send a newsletter fully branded as your business to your clients. It's not mortgage heavy, recent ones where how do you save on your gas and electric in the winter months, and what's a good good autumnal meal to cook in the slow cooker and things like that. They're just keeping in touch pieces that we do for our advisors free of charge. And in the consumer duty world where communication is so important, it's such a great tool to have for our members.
Definitely. I think we've got about just under 200,000 clients receiving the newsletter each month now. There's lead generation forms, so clients can send inquiries directly to the advisor. The take-up rate in terms of engagement is huge. Some of the metrics is well above industry standard.
Mm-hmm.
And we also use it as a good communication service as well. So just for example, during COVID and after with Liz Truss's debacle last year, we were able to send out communications regarding budgets and stamp duty changes and announcements within minutes of them being made. So it proved valuable, and it showed that the advisor really cared and provided the information that the client needed at a time when they needed the most.
Yeah.
So I think that has proved very, very successful. And as you said, you're not forced into using it. There's a choice, but
mm-hmm.
the service is there if required and needed.
Yeah.
And especially in a world where fixed rates are up to like 5 years, so there needs to be that consistent messaging throughout the life cycle, the journey of the client.
Yeah, I mean, our commercial director Neil regularly sort of reminds people the worst thing that people can say to you is, "Are you still a mortgage broker?" Things like the newsletter just are a constant reminder that you're still there, and when your house insurance renewal drops through the letterbox, or you start getting you get a new job, or you quit smoking and things like that, to speak to your mortgage advisor to ensure that the products are still suitable for you.
Definitely. I think switching networks can seem quite daunting sometimes, because it could be a long process. There may be certain clauses which may make it seem difficult, and it may seem so. You keep putting it off. You might think, right, well, I'm not quite happy where I am, but I'm going to stay here for the time being. But I'll review it in 6 months, and then it never really happens. How do we at HLPartnership help to make that transition as smooth as possible in the onboarding process?
Yeah. So, one of the big things that I hear is it's just too hard to move at the moment, and I kind of relate it to moving house. It's as you're packing the boxes up in the old house, and you're thinking, why am I doing this? And it's not something that you're going to want to do again in 6 months' time, but 2 weeks into the new home, you've forgotten all about that. You've got your shiny new cupboards, you've got your nice new TV on the wall. You've found your new house, you found your new home, and that's kind of what I relate it to. Yes, there is a little bit of upheaval to do it. We will work with you to ensure that's as smooth as possible. So myself and my team have got a pretty enhanced knowledge as to what the other networks will do when it comes to hand notice in, whether they're going to freeze pipelines, continue to pay you, charge you X amount, even to the point where will they allow you to complete what we call a novation, which is moving protection cases from the old network to the new one, and subsequently liability. So we've got a good understanding of what the other networks will do when you come to hand your notice in, and it's our job to ensure that journey is as smooth as possible. Now, it might be that there's increased costs to leave a network, and it might be that a pipeline is being frozen here or there, so you might need short-term help in terms of funding and things like that. And we can look at that on a case-by-case basis. And for the right type of people, we're happy to support there. I think the key thing that we will do is we will sit down with the firm that is looking to move networks and formulate a time plan, and we will highlight the certain sort of touch points throughout that plan and time scale as to when things are going to happen, so that the advisor knows what to expect. We will, of course, communicate throughout all of the process to ensure that it is as smooth as possible. And the key thing that I will try and do with all of my clients that are looking to switch from one network to another is I will always ensure that your clients are put at the forefront of this. So we will ensure there's minimal, if any, downtime in terms of not being able to write business. We'll work closely with the network that you're leaving and with the FCA to ensure that the timescales are hit, so that you can continue to write business right up until the point you leave your current network, and then a day later under your new network. That's what we're there to do. That's what we're experienced in doing. We want to ensure that switch from one network to another is as seamless as possible.
I've seen many successes in that recently, so it's good. I think one of the things that really flows through everything that we're talking about here is community. And I think, once a year we conduct member research, so that's in the form of surveys and focus groups, and we compile the information and we try to find out what we're good at, what we could improve at, what the ideal network would be for our members, and we take that information and we take action from it. So, for example, the national conference, the theme's going to be powering growth, because advisors want to understand more about how to grow their business. So we're taking that feedback. We're going to use like broker platforms where some of our ARs will share some success stories of how they've grown their business, and it's going to focus on safe growth, so the compliance, the ethical, and ensuring that everything is sustainable and safe. So I think that we like to listen, so we'll listen to the needs and we'll take action. And I think that's definitely one of our strengths.
100%. Sean, at every single event that he speaks at, he will always finish by sort of saying, listen, we want your feedback, whether it be good or bad. And he wants people to go direct to him. They can our members have access to Sean's telephone number, to Sean's email address. They can speak to him at any point, and Sean's closing point will always be, we're not perfect, but we've got perfect intentions. We know that there are certain things that we might get wrong here or there, and we'll try and put them right. But we always want to ensure that our members are happy. And with that sort of mantra and that sort of culture, we've tried to adopt something that, and we are adopting something that is quite successful, and our members do like us. We listen at the end of the day. None of our directors are sat in an ivory tower or with closed doors or anything like that. You can speak to the people in the business that make the decisions whenever you want to. And that's a key thing for us, is that we're always looking to evolve, we're always looking to develop, but we'll try and do it with our members' interests at heart.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. So I think, to summarise, we've got community, there's technology, there's a real focus on growth and development. We care about our members. We try to connect everyone together, whether it be suppliers, with staff, with other members, and even industry names. We try to bring everyone together so everyone can learn, network and experience with each other. So if someone was looking to become an AR, what would one piece of advice be that you'd give them?
So I would suggest speaking to as many networks as you can. You know, if you've made the decision that the appointed representative route is the right direction, speak to as many networks as you can. There's plenty of them out there. From there, I think you will naturally whittle down to 3, 4 that you like and you want to go further with. My one piece of advice would be, don't make the decision based on the money or the pounds and the pence, because all of the networks charge a very similar amount. They do things slightly different. You want to find a network that is a right fit for you and your business today and moving forward. Don't base it on the fact that you can save £20 per month here or £20 per month there, because you'll kick yourself down the line. Make the decision based on what is right for you. Make the decision for what is based in terms of the culture for you and your business and your staff. Don't rush into it. I think it's important. You know, take your time with this. There's zero pressure. The time needs to be 100% right for you. And I would also, you know, get as much feedback from other people in the industry as you can. So speak to business development managers, speak to people that you know are working at certain networks, have a look on the forums. You know, you can see who's under a network just by going on the FCA register. Ring one of the firms and get some feedback from them and see what they think to it. That would be my. You've asked for one hint and tip now. I've given you about 3, but certainly, you know, take your time with it, do your research, and don't pick a network based on the pounds and the pence, is what I would say.
Brilliant. So, if someone was considering joining HLPartnership or inquiring and speaking to yourself, how would they go about doing it?
Certainly. So, email, telephone, LinkedIn, I'm on all 3. Alternatively, quick Google search HL Partnership. There's an inquiry form on our website which will come direct to myself, and I'll be happy to give you a call.
Excellent. So, Tom, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Ken.
And we look forward to seeing you and meeting everyone at the events in the coming months. But yeah, no, thanks for your time.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Man.